What's up, JD Aliens? Welcome back. Man, I'm getting kind of sad because this is like almost the end of Crusher Week. I still have one more video to do tomorrow for the series. And that's just going to be my final thoughts, the good, the bad, and the ugly of the Crusher ANC headphones. But today is going to be my last comparison. So let's get this show on the road.
Let's do it.
Okay, it's the battle of the expensive ass headphones. Right here we have the Crusher ANC, newly produced by Skullcandy, and right here we have the reigning king of ANC. Man, plenty have tried and plenty have come close, but just flat out failed when it comes to ANC implementation and sometimes even sound quality. But these are not necessarily the best sounding headphones out on the market as far as Bluetooth goes, but they are the best complete package, I would say, you could get between sound, ANC, comfort, and everything else. Right here we have these Skullcandy ANCs, and since they are priced so doggone high in that $300 mark, it's actually about $320, I believe. Since they're priced at $320 and they boast ANC and good sound, we have to put them up against the Sony WH-1000XM3. Now, before I get too deep into this, I'm gonna tell you right now that these headphones are really for two different types of buyers. And I'll tell you what that buyer is. Right here, we have more of, I don't want to use the word executive, but this is a more like adult headphone right here. The traveler, the responsible listener, the guy who likes good sounding music with a little bit of, extra thump on that bass, because these are more tuned for bass other than like a Bose or a Sennheiser or something like that. They do pack a little bit more punch than the average upscale headphone, I guess you would say. But these are targeted for that guy, he's not necessarily a bass head. He just likes really great music and he needs that noise cancellation, and he's willing to pay that premium dollar for it at $350. Over here, Skullcandy tends to cater to a more youthful crowd, more in the younger generation and the bass heads, right? So most of their headphones are tuned for bass and bass lovers. In particular, the Crusher line of headphones, they just go all out with everything, all the bass, all the time. So yeah, it's just a different market of person, but they kind of crossed the line with this ANC and said, hey, you know what? Some of you guys that put on your suits and travel a lot, you like that bass and you need that noise canceling. So we'll make some headphones for you too. But like I said, that means these have to play together in the same price point. So here goes this comparison. Right now you get nice cases on both. Actually, it's the same material, same build quality and everything, and also a very similar look. With the Skullcandies being a little bit thicker, you see the Sonys are just a tad bit thinner, and I do believe that's just because of the build of the Skullcandy Crusher ANC. On the opposite side, man, my table's dusty. On the opposite side, you got this pocket. I have never liked this pocket on the outside of the case. It's a case. Everything should go inside the case, Sony. This is just hideous, man. I don't know why you put that there. Skullcandy did it right. Everything is inside of the case, and there is no hideousness on the outside of that. So let's give one up for Skullcandy right there, even though the case is actually a little bit bigger. Going on the inside, man, you'd be hard pressed to tell these two apart, well, other than the color scheme and stuff, as far as the case goes, because to be honest with you, they could probably fit in each other's cases because of the layout. Yeah, you can squeeze that up in there. Yeah, you can squeeze that up. Oh, hold on. Yeah, I think, yeah, it will squeeze in there. It will fit. So yeah, you can actually swap these cases if you want to, because they pretty much, Skullcandy has taken the Sony approach to the swivel action on the headphones and how they stack up in the case. But right here, you got the diagram. Right here, you don't. You got your 3.5 millimeter aux cables. You got your USB-C charging cable, USB-C charging cable on the Sony side. But Sony goes that extra length and gives you an airplane adapter, because they know you need that noise canceling and you might need to plug into an airplane for the traveler. Skullcandy doesn't do that. I don't care. Some of you might care, but I really don't. Let's go ahead and put these cases off to the side, bring these headphones back to their respective positions. Now we unfold them and we look at how they are built. Now, oh, Sony's a little bit lighter, man. I'm not gonna pull out my scale for this, but I can tell Sony is just a tad lighter. Now, as far as the look, yes, they do share some similarities, but not all, and they are very different headphones as far as the look, to be honest with you. The only thing that's really similar is where they break at the top to expand the headphones. These are more robust and wider at the top of the headband, and actually all through the headband, whereas the Sonys are a little bit thinner. I actually wouldn't mind having a wider headband on the Sonys, but Sonys have this kind of egg style profile where is they kind of rounded off the egg here. It's like a fat egg, that's a skinny egg as far as the shape of these headbands. Sony's got that plushness right there. The Skullcandy, it's a little bit thinner as far as how much padding they put in there, but they do have this cutout to relieve some pressure at the top of your head. As far as build quality on the headphones, I'd have to give them both a tie. They both use great plastic. They're both quiet headphones as far as handling and stuff like that. Both very well built headphones. Now we come around to the ear cups. Sony's ear cups, I've never really liked them because I feel like they're just too big. They stick out too much. And they've toned it down here and as far as the design from their previous model, the XM2s, but it still sticks out quite a bit. Whereas the Skullcandy, I'll show you right now. Okay, so the Sony headphones, you put them on your head, and let me get them just right. So you put them on your head, they got this nice egghead profile right here, but then you got these big ear cups that just kind of sit out. So, you know, whatever, right? But you put on the Skullcandy Crushers, let me get them sitting up just right. Put on the Crushers and yeah, it just, everything just kind of blends together real nice. So as far as it looks on the head, definitely got to give it up to the Crushers on that one. As far as comfort, oh man, this is a tight one, man. This is so tight. Okay, so yeah, elephant ears can reside up in the Sonys really nice and they won't have a problem at all. And the ear cups are super, super plush. Look at that, man. Seriously, like, look at it. It's just so pillowy. I've actually traveled on multiple trips with these things and they're super duper comfortable. As a matter of fact, CES 2019, on the way back home from Vegas to Houston, Texas, where I'm from, I had like 2 layovers. So I was basically traveling for like 24 hours. Yeah, these stayed on my head the entire time because I didn't want nothing to do with them people at the airport. So these literally stayed on my head the entire time and never was I uncomfortable. So yeah, the Sonys is where it's at when it comes to comfort. Skullcandy Crushers, I cannot make that same testimony because I haven't used them that long, but over an hour or 2 worth of time, nah, there's no problem here. These are super comfortable as well. So I don't see why you would have trouble wearing these long term, like on a long trip or something like that. They should be all right because it's pretty much the same kind of stuff, but Skullcandy has a much thicker pad and that should add some extra comfort there. Now let's get into some features, man. So the Sonys are featuresque. They got a lot of them. The first feature I'll talk about is this. All you got to do is tap that NFC tag right there. Your headphones turn on. They do their thing. They say connected, yada, yada, yada. And then you can open up this app. Let me get all this done. Yeah, you open up the app and they're ready to go just from a single tap on the headphones. That's super nice. Now, in my previous video comparing the Crushers to the XB900N, I talked about all the things that reside in this app. So I'm not going to beat a dead horse. Go back and watch that video if you want to see a more detailed discussion about this app. But look what we got in here, man. All kinds of stuff. You can optimize your noise canceling and everything. Like, it just gets crazy on here as far as like what you can do. I still think they could do a little bit better or do some more in here, but this is a very complete and finished app. Now we'll get into the Skullcandy app. While I do appreciate Skullcandy has taken the steps toward integrating their headphones with apps, I do feel like I want more out of this app. This is the Crusher ANC app, and it is simply nothing more than a hearing test to add your personal sound via the app. So I've done a couple of tests in here, and I'll talk about that tomorrow as far as how this thing works. But for all intents and purposes, it's just a hearing test that matches your personal hearing up to the headphones themselves. So it's a better pairing between your ears and the headphones. So yeah, there's the app, and that it does nothing more. So yes, while I'm really grateful Skullcandy has an app now, I'm really kind of wishing like they would have done something more to it. Hopefully in the future, they can add something else to this app without me having to get the next version of the Crusher. Like, I don't want to have to spend another $300 to get another set of headphones that work with a better app. You see what I'm saying? Like, upgrade the app and let me use it in these headphones right here. Now, as far as active noise cancellation goes, I really don't feel like I need to talk about this, but somebody in the comment section would be like, he didn't even talk about the ANC. What's wrong with him? He's a terrible reviewer. Okay, I'll go ahead, but I'm gonna keep it short and simple, man. Sony is just, Sony dominates the category of noise canceling. It just cannot be matched right now. Somebody might be able to do it, but it sure as hell ain't gonna be Skullcandy, not with these. The noise canceling in the Crusher ANC is very good. It's a solid experience, but this is next level right here, man. This can literally block out like voices from a TV show. If like, sometimes me and my wife are laying in bed and I don't want to hear what's on the TV, she's doing something on her tablet or something, and I'll put these on I can't hear the TV because I got these on. That doesn't work the same way with these. So yeah, this is just far superior. I've talked about noise canceling enough. As far as ambient sound goes, if you watched my previous videos on this subject, you know how I feel about the ambient sound on these. I think, first of all, to activate the quick ambient sound, it takes a little bit too long, but it does work good. Man, it works good. It doesn't sound robotic or nothing. It sounds very natural when it's actually on. But as far as turning it off and on, it takes a little bit too long in my opinion. Here, same experience. All you gotta do is put your hand right here on the ear cup. It turns on instantaneously. No voices in there. You just start hearing stuff. What you hear is actually pretty good. It doesn't sound like weird or anything. The experience in here is good. Now, the way they differ in ambient sound is when you touch the pad for 3 to 5 seconds on the Crusher ANC, it turns it on permanently until you turn it off. And as far as I know, there is no other option for that. So it's on until you turn it off. But when you touch the pad on the Sonys, it's on until you release your hand. So you can just listen to something real quick. Once it's done, you take your hand off. Or if you want it to remain on permanently, which is something I actually do quite a bit, you can program this button to be either your ambient sound button, noise canceling button, or your Google Assistant. Mine is programmed to be the ambient sound noise canceling button, and therefore I can just toggle this button to turn the ambient sound on or off permanently, or I can toggle the noise cancellation on or off. As far as toggling the noise cancellation, it's just a simple double click of this mushy button right here. I'm gonna keep saying it's mushy because it's mushy, but you double tap it to turn the ANC on or off. Now I do want to do a quick mention about the phone call quality. I've taken several phone calls on the Sonys, and I'll be honest with you, it's pretty god awful. People I'm talking to usually ask me to take me off speakerphone, or I sound muffled or something like that. And on my end, it sounds okay. It sounds just fine, but on their end, they say it sounds pretty terrible. So Sony kind of sucks in that category. However, when I'm talking to people on these, I'll answer the phone, I'll say hello, and people just start rattling off whatever they got to say, like I'm not on anything. So I have to stop them in their tracks and say, hey, does this phone call sound good? I mean, does it sound like I'm on speakerphone or something? They always say, no, let's just keep talking. Like, what's up? What are you doing? So yeah, the phone calls must sound pretty good to the people on the other side of that phone call. On my side of the phone call, it sounds fine. It comes in stereo, but sometimes I like to turn on the ambient sound, and it gives it more of a conversational feel because now you can hear outside noise coming into your phone call. I just prefer phone calls in that mode because I don't like talking with headphones on my head. It just makes me feel weird. So I do like to use that ambient sound feature while I'm making phone calls. So apparently phone calls on both ends of the call are really good in these headphones. Now, in regards to battery life, Sony gives you 30 hours plus quick charge. So 10 minutes gets you an extra 5 hours on that quick charge, just in case for some reason within 30 hours of listening, you didn't charge up those headphones. Now, the Skullcandy will give you 24 hours with the quick charge time of, for 10 minutes, you get 3 hours, I believe it is, which is just as good. So as far as battery life, yes, it's on paper, the Sonys come out on top, but you know, once you get past that, 15-hour mark, in my opinion, it starts to be like, all right, that's a lot for me because I actually charge. But I get it. Some of you guys are road warriors and you just need, past 24 hours or past 30 hours worth of battery life. But the quick charge that these support, I think you're doing all right with either one you go for. Now let's talk about the sound of these bad boys. Let's talk about the Sonys first. I did a video recently that these headphones have literally jacked my ears up for like every other headphone out there. And I still mean that, man. Because these are so versatile. If you want to listen to some music with some bass, like some rap, some EDM or something like that, you go ahead and turn these on, man. You're going to have a good time. You can set the EQ for these. They have clear bass, and they have those sound venues that you can click on, which actually somehow pack more bass into your music without muddying it up. These are by far the most versatile headphones that I've ever owned and that I've ever heard. Now, I know there's probably something better out there, but I ain't tested it. So I'm sticking with my story with the Sonys. These have truly messed up my ears for every other headphone as far as listening. The open sound stage you get out of here, like it's just awesome, man. If you've ever heard these headphones in like Best Buy or something like that, it didn't do it any justice because you're connected to a cord, yada, yada, yada. You got to get these things home and play around with the app and some EQ settings on these and really unleash the darkness of these headphones, man. It's pretty awesome in here. So yeah, these have messed up my ears for all other headphones. So does that give the Skullcandy Crusher ANC a fair chance? Yes, it does, because for one, I understand that these are different headphones. Some people are going to be wanting to compare these, like, you know, just because they cost a similar cost and just because they're built similarly, they're supposed to be the same. No, man, it's for two different people. I did not buy these to replace my Sonys. I bought these because I like freaking bass. And even though the Sonys have a ton of bass in them, it doesn't have what the Skullcandy Crusher ANC has to offer, man. They got this bass slider. We talked about this over and over again. Halfway is that sweet spot for me. I get all the rumble I need, man. It doesn't start tickling my spine until I turn it all the way up like that. So I got to turn it back down and keep those eargasms under control, man. And that's what I bought these for. Even the stock profile of these is kind of a bright sound, but once you add that personal sound from the app, my personal sound ends up being a really bright sound signature, and these do it. Even with the bass slider all the way down, you get a nice level of kick from that bass, and then you get that brightness and that goodness you want from your music. These even have somewhat of a sound stage. I'm very impressed by the sound quality that came out of a bass lover's headphones. But then once you add in that bass, let me kick it up halfway because that's where I like to keep it. Once you add in that bass, man, this is like a really good package as far as overall listening. Even though that's not why I purchased them, it's still a great package for overall listening. And Skullcandy, you really outdid yourself with the sound profile of these things, even though you're kind of cheating with that sound profile app. But hey, that's what you paid $320 for, man. Yeah, Skullcandy, hit a home run with the sound profile of these. I can't say enough and how happy I am with what comes out of here. But at the end of the day, these are very, very similar yet very, very different headphones, and they are targeted for two completely different people, man. This guy right here, like I said, you know, if you're a traveler or somebody who just really enjoys their music, someone who enjoys like all music, you know, just whatever you want to listen to, you want to throw it at some headphones, this is what that's made for. And you get top-notch, like space age grade noise canceling in here, and you get a lot of features in your app. And I really do like this NFC. So over here with the Skullcandies, this is for the guy who is also like me, because I got like the split personality. Sometimes I'm this guy, the YouTuber, right? You know, I'm wild and crazy and I'm fun and stuff like that. And that's where these Skullcandies come in, man. These are fun. If you want to get down and have a good time, you throw on your Crusher ANC. But I know you probably don't have like $670 to buy both right now. So if you have to choose one, man, I don't know. I can't make that decision for you if you can't get both. But what I have done is giving you lots of tools to decide whether you like the features in this one more, or whether you want these features more, or whether you want these features more, because they both have things that the other one doesn't have. This one doesn't have the best ANC, but it does have a bass slider, okay? This one has lots of versatility in the app and NFC, but it doesn't have a bass slider. They're both super duper comfortable. They're both built well, and they both priced high as hell. So I don't know, man. I don't know how you make your choice if you ain't got $670 to buy both. If you were gonna buy one, which one would you choose? Seriously, you got $320, about $350, and I think these have been out so long they probably come down in price a little bit, so they're probably a little bit more closely matched. I don't know, man. Can't tell you how to run your life or your wallet. I'm just here to help you make decisions. But that's enough about these headphones. Let's talk about my social media. Y'all want to hang out after this video, make sure you dig in those links, man. I got a lot of links down there. I got like purchase links. I got links to my other 2 channels. Yeah, you need to subscribe to those because it's about to get good on them channels. But you'll also find my social media links. So follow me on Instagram or something like that, and we'll hang out later. But if y'all had a good time checking out the Crusher ANC, fighting it out against the the Sony WH-1000XM3s. Yes, that's what it's called. But yeah, if y'all had a good time watching this, make sure you throw the emoji hands up in the comment section, and I'll see y'all at the next one. Hey, where you going? No. Sit back down. We got to talk about this. You didn't have a good time? All right then. Hit the subscribe button. There you go. Reach down there. There you go. And then hit the bell, because you need to know when I'm opening up more new stuff. You got to come right back here and check this stuff out. Now, don't you feel like a better human being? All right, I knew you would. All right, man, I'll see you soon.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?